Hello everyone and welcome to the Black Cat Show, the show where I cannot fit everything I want to talk about into the title. I spent something like, I don't know, 2-3 minutes like putting in different titles and getting rejected all the time. Apparently, I think this is the problem. I'm simply making them too long. I have too many characters, I have too many things I want to talk about any given day, so I'm always just hitting go and then getting rejected, and it doesn't explain why, and then I keep changing the title, and then I shorten it a bit, and then that happens. So I think that's it. So I think I'm gonna try and like stick with like single topic streams, or just generally like evolve naturally throughout, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to the Kenosha riots. Lots of stuff I've seen. Some crazy shit happened last night after we went live, after we went off. Oh, oops, there's my live stream. There's this guy's live stream. I guess we'll watch this guy. Why don't we watch some of these random ones here? Why did we go live? That was just by force of habit. Okay, Kenosha Riot. Okay, search again. Unrest in Kenosha, Wisconsin after police shooting of black man. Yep, always damage controlling. Some more things about Jacob Blake. I want to say Black, like the guy in Twilight. More things about this individual are coming to light, and maybe I should just close these tabs. I don't think my computer is powerful enough to hold all these live streams at once. So, all right, cars and buildings in flames on second night of Kenosha riots. All right, we might as well watch this. Yep, this was last night. Oh, yep, this is the courthouse. Yeah, we were watching this last night on the show. Yep, they're setting fire trucks on fire. Oh, dump trucks on fire. I'm sorry. They're taking out the trash. It's a literal dumpster fire.
Engaging with black Wisconsinites. I've said all along, we must offer our empathy.
No. The police did nothing wrong. You cuck. Okay. Yeah, I totally have empathy for these violent hoodlums. Oh man, if I only cared about these people, they wouldn't be out doing this shit. Oh no.
Why does it always have to get to a point where we see the guns firing and his family is there, the kids are there?
Well, they never do what they're supposed to do. You cuck. I don't. Why are we going to LeBron for information about this? I don't care what LeBron has to say about these riots. I don't care. I don't even respect the politicians when it comes to this thing. Why would I listen to this guy? I don't know who you are, LeBron, but I don't care about you. All right. Cha-cha-cha. The police really was overtly brutal. They would be like shooting these people. Like there would be a lot more deaths for sure. Yep. Causing all these troubles. Look at all these like greasy ass motherfucker with these long, ugly ass hair. The soy boys, like, ugh. Damn, alright. I totally have sympathy for these people. And I believe some arrests were made last night. I didn't see any on stream, unfortunately. I mean, there was so much shit going on, like, you can't possibly watch it all. Like, shit, even if you were fucking there, it would be like, ugh. Yeah, maybe if, oof. I don't know, man. Like, maybe if my novels, Alright, never mind. Oof. But furious protest of the shooting of black man by police. They have to, like, specify the race, and they have to specify that it was by the police. Otherwise, that nobody would give a shit. Like, they lit a building on fire with 7 people trapped inside, and they wouldn't allow the fire department in to save them. This is an act of terrorism. Yeah, most people are. People aren't happy about this. People don't take these complete retards seriously, and you shouldn't, but it's getting more and more extreme. Listen to it on the scanner. It was absolutely horrific. These protesters are instilling fear into the people they are out to kill. They should be treated as terrorists and nothing less. Just imagine being trapped in a burning building and not allowed out. If you do escape, those people will beat you to death. But the news doesn't cover that because it's not part of their narrative. Yep. The MSN are sick. They would watch the world burn if they could make a dollar. A dollar sign. MSN, Premier League, Labour, Big Business, ACT are trying to import this to the UK with their constant race baiting. Yeah, they're trying to do it in the UK too. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the history of like slavery is like in the UK. It wasn't really a thing in the UK, right? If I'm correct on that. We are scared as black people in America, says the millionaire who lives in his mansion. Lol, dude, come down. Yeah, it's so fucking fake. It's so fake. LeBron James is an idiot when he said we are scared. The guy who got shot was scared, really? That's why he kept walking to his car acting like he didn't give a crap? At least we all know. We're totally scared. There are so many racists in this country. At least we now know where Kenosha is. Bizarre world. LeBron, he's a career criminal, ooh, just like Career Floyd. He reached into his car with officers' guns already trained on him. Get your facts straight, mate. Yep. Well, not LeBron, a criminal. Fucking Jacob Blake was a career criminal, as I have explained several times on this show. Even when like I first watched it, I was like, yeah, this guy fucked up. He shouldn't have done that. Fucking criminal. Again, I said this about the George Floyd thing, but I really need to repeat like here. Like, it isn't about the killings. It isn't about, like, police on black riot. It's about, like, it's a demand for, like, free shit, for a revolution, for a communist uprising, basically. Like, why do you think there are so many fucking white people here? They're all socialists. They're all Bernie supporters who have been, like, cucked by the DNC. They're expected to vote for Joe Biden, and they don't really see their socialist utopia coming about under good old Uncle Joe, so... The snifferoo, Joe is going to like, Joe's not gonna do it for them. Yep, tensions escalate. I guess we could look and see if anything's live. Let's see. Kenosha Riots, my tag. Who's this guy? Okay, I want to see what this guy has to say. Hello. Why aren't you talking, you cuck? Well, I guess this is kind of like my live streams. This is what my live streams look like, too. Me just awkwardly sitting there.
We got
there we go.
Canadian Q-Cat Lady finally catching you live. And we have Brian Thice here as well. Thank you, guys. Go listen. It's a very similar kind of thing that happened with George Floyd.
So career criminal.
People really even know the whole story. They just start rioting, burning things down. And it's gotten pretty bad there. I'm going to show you some more research here.
Yeah, wonder how... Gunman fires at protesters in Kenosha. Oh, yeah, that's right. I wanted to see that. I wanted to show that off for sure. Are the riots continuing or have they stopped? I kind of wanted to verify that. Protest August 26th, Chicago, Scanner Gaming, BLM, Rooftop Koreans, Kenosha Riot, Portland. They're like centralizing these very specific areas. Like, is it just me? You're always seeing Portland. You're always seeing like Chicago. You're always seeing like Seattle and places like that. Like, it's just ugh. It's all these cities. All right. I don't know, man. It doesn't feel like there's anything going on now, and it's about time where they should be going back out there, but all right. Contains scenes some viewers may find distressing. Oh, no. They came back? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Look at them peacefully protest. Oh, no. Nope. Oh, he peacefully got the shit beat out of him. Oh, no. Oh, that's the shooting. Oh, no. Yeah, that's the guy who got his arm balloon off, right? He doesn't give a fuck. Damn. Damn. Yeah, he turned himself in. Like, a lot of people are saying, like, that was unjustified, but you saw that, right? He got jumped. Like, a lot of people are saying, oh, you shouldn't have a gun. He has a right to have a gun. This is America. Like, we have guns for this exact kind of reason. And it's probably why, honestly, like, if, again, this is why I'm pro-militia. Like, the riots would never have taken off if people were actually encouraged to go out and take care of the riots themselves by any means necessary. But no, we have to leave it to, like, the government to just stick their thumbs up their ass for political reasons. Yeah, that needs to stop. Again, uh-oh. Jacob Blake's mother.
Has been fighting for his life.
It is going to take a miracle for Jacob Blake Jr. to ever walk again. He is paralyzed. Those bullets.
yeah, sure. And we're gonna solve this violence with more violence. We're gonna jump on people, harass them, go after them, beat the shit out of them while they're down. You know, set dumpster trucks on fire. Yeah, that's gonna solve racism.
And shatter some of his vertebrae.
Yeah, we gotta read up on, like, the shooting, because I think that's very controversial at this point. Maybe I should have called it, like, the Kenosha Riot shooting. I'm not sure if YouTube would have liked that, though, with me coming out here and saying that, like, yeah, the shooter probably didn't do anything wrong. From what I understand, he didn't. But all right.
Like he didn't matter, but my son matters.
Oh, yeah, they got. Oh no. What fucking punks? What fucking bitches? Don't forget to like and subscribe. No, I don't think so. I think I will forget. Thank you very much. Trying to hurt someone holding a rifle is bad for your health. Did they seriously think that was a good idea? We're gonna jump someone who has a fucking rifle. Rioters, there's never a cop around when you need one. Wasn't that the thing that happened last night? With them going on Twitter and like, oh no, we gotta call the police. And then like, but we're rioting against the police. Get his ass. Famous last words. 2 BLM writers neutralized. Give this young man a medal. So the shooter was defending himself and the attackers got shot. The end. Yeah, I really doubt this kid is going to get convicted. And it is a kid. He's like 17 or whatever. I'm not sure what he was doing out there. He went out, I guess he went out to like counter protest and they came after him. He had previously shot someone in the head previous to this video. That person he shot was chasing and attacking him. Yep. Gunman fires at protesters? Never has a word been more misused. They are rioters, looters, and arsonists. Burn, loot, murder. The use of the words gunmen and protesters are laughable. Yeah, they really are trying to control the narrative, but they really are failing. Like, completely failing. Like, we're at the point where, like, people are coming out, like, applauding a fucking shooter because it's getting so out of control. Like, try man defending his life from attackers using his Second Amendment right. Yeah, fuck yeah, this is why we need guns. Oh, by the way, Democrat soy boy, Beto O'Rourke, he came out, O'Rourke, I can't even say his name correctly, he's so irrelevant. Like, what is with these Democrats and their terrible, annoying to pronounce names? Like, you have Beto O'Rourke, you have fucking Booty Gag. Like, how the fuck do you say these people's names? So anyway, Beto tried to turn this into a situation in which, like, oh, we gotta ban guns. And I think, like, the Democrats finally realized that, like, the riots, their whole, like, narrative of, like, defunding the police, it kind of falls flat on the face of their other narrative that we need to get rid of guns to prevent shootings. The Kenosha shooting suspect was in the front row at Trump rally in January. Jacob Black's murder is a result of systemic racism bolstered by Trump. The Kenosha protest murders are a direct result of Trump's public praise of gun-toting white vigilantes. The blood of 3 more murders on Trump's hands. First, how many people have the rioters killed? Like, really, how many lives have they ruined? Like, fuck them. I don't have any sympathy for these people. Joe Biden is the man for this moment. Future generations will look back on ours and know that we decisively rejected the corruption, incompetence, and racism of Trump and chose a decent, honest, and moral leader who brought us together to enact the most progressive agenda in our history. Progressive. Yeah, don't let these people tell you that progressive is anything other than communism. That's all it is. Fucking communism. Back in the USSR, Beto O'Rourke told someone his mother had a right to abort him the day before he was born if she wanted. These are the extremists controlling Joe Biden. Yeah, these fucking retards. You gotta love how like they basically overplayed their hand on everything. Like we gotta get rid of guns to stop the mass shootings. We gotta get rid of we gotta have abortions so like women can work. we gotta do all this, and we gotta like have more and more immigrants, and like they just keep pushing and pushing until like their original claims were laughable and honestly kind of contrary. Like we've seen before how like the abortion thing kind of plays into like, oh, we need more immigrants. Oh, why aren't we at replacement level? Why is the population declining? Like we're gonna have too many jobs. We're gonna have to import more people from foreign countries rather than cracking down on thoughts and abortion rights. Well, rights. Rather than cracking down on like pro-choice people, which is again murder, right? Abortion is murder. Rather than cracking down on that, like we're just gonna import more foreigners, from Europe. All these degenerates from the UK and like all these terrible out of country people. Like yeah, we're gonna import more of those and brainwash them to do all sorts of nasty shit. Abbott is responsible for the fact that more than 10,000 Texans have died from a virus whose spread was preventable if we stopped immigration. If you'd only followed the science. Gotta love how they use science. Like, here's the thing. I was meaning to make a video about this, about the whole science thing. Like, you have to believe in science. You trust our scientists. If only he'd listen to science. They're essentially using science in the same way that, like, cult members would use like their religion. Like science is basically their religion, and they sort of like warp it to be something it isn't. Like they're not like vetting their numbers correctly. They're not going through the scientific method. Like they're basically reaching a conclusion first. Like say transgender women are women, right? Not men, women. They come up with that, and then they make up these studies that sort of justify that behavior. Climate change is real. Abortion isn't murder. I would say all pharmaceuticals are safe. Like if they say they're safe, like things like that, right? Like you don't have a degree, so you don't have any business judging how we're dealing with these situations, the spread of the virus or anything like that. Like you're not educated enough. You don't understand science. You don't watch enough Rick and Morty. So that's kind of the mindset that's kind of developed. Like they sort of have used the trust and goodwill that has been built up through hundreds of years of like scientific progress, right, since the Enlightenment movement, and we're just getting it's being degraded. It's being corrupted by a bunch of people who are using the science to push a bunch of bad policies that don't make any sense and are just detrimental to our health as a society and as a nation. Like, again, there are like countless examples of that. But right now, if you voted Democrat, you believed in the science and the virus. If the Democrats had their way, if they had trusted the science, the virus would have just gone away, right? Like they're treating like this. It's like the stereotypical way that Christians, stereotypical Christians treat like sinners. Like, oh man, if only you had obeyed God, if you would only listened to us, then this would never have happened. Like it's the same kind of rhetoric. It's just adapted to like the modern era, and I'm not sure how many people have sort of realized this yet. Like I'm not sure how commonly accepted this is, but I have noticed this a lot in a lot of different fields, and I'm only starting to grasp just how deep the rabbit hole goes when it comes to this kind of thing, this kind of behavior, this kind of attitude, this kind of ridiculous. This ridiculous means of pushing an agenda, of continuing their pro-communist, sort of anti-America sort of worldview here. One of the most damning indictments of Vicky, Senators Cruz, Rubio, and Scott. No one has worked harder to enable Trump in his criminality. How is Trump a criminal? No one has debased themselves in disgusting fealty to this fascist quite like these guys. How is he a fascist? Thank you. You gotta love how these people, these people are against communism, so that makes them fascist. That's kind of their logic. Makes me so proud to see my good friend and our hero in Congress, Veronica Escobar, cast the votes of Texas for Joe Biden. Texas couldn't be represented any better. Let's see. This is how Trump tries to steal the election in the biggest swing state in the country. Yeah, the Democrats are going to get murdered in the election. We're just going down this list of things he said. Once an undecided voter, Beto O'Rourke's son Bobby has been won over by Joe Biden. Wait, what? Anyway. I stood for something. I'm not going to fall for anything. Yeah. Hard to believe this guy was once a presidential candidate. Like, I'm not seeing anything Donald pandemic. Are these people seriously trying to convince America that, like, the pandemic is Donald Trump's fault? Like, are they fucking serious? Like, they're completely blaming the victim. Yeah. So, yeah, I think the cops are on the side of the kid. So, of the shooter. So that's a good thing. He was just defending himself. So I don't know. Like, the cops seem to be treating the situation very well. Like, right now, we just need to deal with the mob. Like, that's it. Like, the system works. The system is functional. There's nothing wrong with the system or the people in it. Like, there is no racism on the side of the police. It's all like these establishment shills, these communist enablers, and they're sort of black slaves. Like, I do mean that, like slaves. Yeah, if you do what we say, we'll give you more free stuff. We'll take care of you, like a fucking slave. Like, that's why they really do. All of this, like, minority stuff, like, for the Democratic Party, it's just a way, driving down wages, bringing people into the country. Like, it's just a way of modernizing slavery. Like, when you really look at what they do, like, overall for these people, like, it's just a way of, like, you're lucky to be in America at all. Like, just, they're not going to give up their wealth, is what I'm saying. Like, they want Republicans to give up their wealth from all classes, but, like, for the elite Democrats, no, they're not giving up shit. They want to be in control. It's all about control, man. The Washington Post. Vice President Pence will headline the third night of the Republicans' virtual convention. Watch our live coverage. Third night of this. Aren't, like, the Republicans, like, completely smashing it? Yeah, Shokio's pathetic. But anyway, standing ovation for Doc Rivers after tonight. Oh, it's National Dog Day. Let's see. All right, I think we demand change. Oh, wait. Yeah, I really want to see this. Like, what exactly are the Black Lives Matter and the communists pushing for? What do they want to see? Like, what changes do they want to see in society? Okay. Can we look at, like, demands? Okay. Movement for Black Lives. Okay. Do they have... Okay, they have a... Black Lives Matter groups release demands. The agenda of Black Lives Matter is far different. Okay, let's look at all this. This is all probably going to be interesting. Let's see. What matters? Okay. All right, resources, global actions, watch and listen. Listen and believe. Free 21 Savage, Monday. Is this website even up to date? Like, why is this from 2019? Early 2019. What? They can't even keep their website up to date? Like, what the fuck? My website is updated every day. Check out blackcatbooks.org. Yeah, where the fuck is the programs, arts, culture? Oh, great. Black Lives Matter art. The Provocateurs, a master series. The Provocateurs, a master series, is a creative video series produced by Black Lives Matter Arts plus Culture. The series features established artists and creatives from all fields who create within a politically radical framework. Artists give 12-minute TED Styles talks about their practice and journey as a provocative black artist. So are these just communists? I'm like, I just want to know what you want, you people. Like, shit. Okay, what matters 2020? I just want to see your Pledge to vote, register to vote, sign up for updates, donate to BLM. I'm not donating shit to this organization. Let's see. Sarah Jones. Who are these people? All right, an author. Yeah. Am I gonna have to read that guy's books? Oh no. I mean, I've never heard of him, but I don't know. I haven't heard of a lot of good writers. Black Lives Matter groups release demands, and the list includes reparations and eradicating the death penalty. Ooh, yeah, both of those things. Yeah, no. Fuck that. If anything, like, I'm super against abolishing the death penalty. If anything, I think it needs to be used more. Like, fuck these people. Okay, 4 p.m., Black Lives Matter is not just a concept, but also a movement, an artificial movement designed and utilized by communists. It's not only a hashtag, but also an organization trying to enact change on the macro level in the United States. Since the phrase took off as a rallying cry for various groups, the patchwork of causes and goals has been a challenge to put together in one place. On Monday, that happened. So they haven't even, like, put together a list of, like, what's wrong with society. In response to the sustained and increasingly visible violence against black communities in the U.S. and globally, what the fuck? Globally? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? A collective of more, well, what the fuck are you talking about when it comes to the U.S.? But globally, so many of these people are adamant that this is like an American-only problem. Like, oh, you don't see this happen in Europe. Globally? Fucking really? Like, okay. A collective of more than 50 organizations representing thousands of black people from across the country have come together with renewed energy and purpose to articulate a common vision and agenda, the initiative reads. The platform includes 6 tenets: end the war on black people. What war? Nobody is fighting you. Like, you've been rioting for like 6 years and you've only just now gotten shot? Economic once by one person in self-defense? Economic justice? What does that fucking mean? Just give us money? Divest, invest. What the fuck is that? Okay, we have to Google that because I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. Divest, invest. What the fuck does that mean? From criminalization to thriving communities. Wait, what? Okay, let's look at this. I have no idea what this is supposed to mean. Yep, it's a Black Lives Matter movement. Funders for justice. Are they literally doing like the fist has to be like their version of like the Hail Hitler sort of hand gesture. Like it's the same thing. Like I noticed last night. It's basically very cultish behavior. Funders for Justice created this website for funders because we believe that our collective investments. Just tell me what it means. Okay. Would you rather? No. Spend an extra $206 billion. Fuck you. Spend an extra $206 billion on police, prosecutors, courts, jails, and prisons. Create over 1 million new living wage jobs, fund 1 million new social workers, psychologists, conflict mediators, mental health. Increase the salary of every public school teacher in America. Well, okay, what the reason? I know for a fact the reason they want like teachers to be given more money is because they're communists and they want to support the teachers are like overwhelmingly very, very pro communist movement, very, very sympathetic to that movement. So giving them more money in order to like more comfortably do their bullshit. Create 400,000 summer and year-round jobs for youth from low-income families. Create a universal pre-K system for all 3 and 4-year-olds that would be free for low-income families and affordable for middle-class families. Provide health care for 5 million uninsured persons. Provide a quality after-school program for every child living in poverty in the country. What the fuck are they doing? Like they always do this thing where they're just like, if we didn't have police, prosecutors, courts, jails, and prisons, we could put that money into investing in the community, and people would just magically not commit crimes. Like, it's the clean and renewable energy sources. Yeah, these people are full of shit. Provide every child living in poverty with additional annual investment of $10,000 in their education and other wraparound supports. What the fuck? What is devised? Invest. There we go. In this video, Mabry Stali Butts of Law for Black Lives and Funders for Justice Field Advisor introduces the divest invest frame. I don't know enough about the economy to really evaluate this. In this moment, divest invest is such a key intervention in addressing not just the symptoms that need to be faced, but the root causes them. Invest/divest is the idea that as we're making reforms, as we're pushing policy changes, as we're overseeing shifts in practice, that we pay special attention to how money is being spent and we demand a divestment from the systems that harm our communities, like the criminal legal system, like policing regimes, like the court system, and demand that money that's currently being spent, that's being poured into those systems with no accountability, be moved instead to community-based alternatives. Okay, so this is what they call, like, take the money from the police and, like, have it be, like, a community force that are, like, it just, no, that wouldn't work. And don't criminalize or dehumanize us. Well, don't commit crimes. Like, it's not... the police don't go after people who aren't committing crimes. I don't understand why they skate around this issue. Like, they legit, like, seem to think that, like, oh, if only we had... oh, man, if only there weren't jobs, if only there weren't police, like, we wouldn't be having all these problems. Like, if there were no police, you would be having more gang violence. And that's actually kind of what's happening now already in, like, certain areas. Like, the Chaz. The Chaz is a good example, where, like, they have exactly what they want, like a community with no police, and what happens? It immediately goes to shit. There's like rape everywhere, a couple of murders, lots of violence, completely unsustainable. The only reason it lasted as long as it did was because the mayor of Seattle was completely delusional and was really pushing that narrative that like it was a summer of love. It was a summer of love. It's a big block party. I love how easy she is to make fun of because it's so ridiculous. It just goes to show you just how out of touch literally all of these people are. Like, it's just, all right. The platform includes 6 tenets. Oh, wait. Okay, device invest. Okay, community control, political power, and perhaps most importantly, reparations. So basically they want money, they want political power to like fuck over white people, and what do they mean by community control? Like, do they mean, like, keep white people out of our neighborhoods? Because, like, I saw this really interesting infograph about this. Like, white people living in black neighborhoods is gentrification. And then, like, I don't know. Basically, the idea was, like, no matter what you do to these people, it's racist in some way. And that's kind of what I've been observing. It's the last word that will likely get most people talking, but the simple tasks of coming together on this effort is quite the accomplishment itself. They're not getting reparations. I think the economy is going to crash long before that happens. The question of who runs the movement is one that's been used to discredit and divide the civil rights movement since its inception. With a specific call to action in place that more than 50 groups have formed through a coalition, the catch-all criticism of "you don't even know what you want" doesn't hold as much water. Let's see. Reparations. Okay, let's go through this list. Okay. When people ask what's the goal for Black Lives Matter and the movement for Black Lives, tell them this: end the war on black people. What war? No one is fighting against you. Reparations. You're wasting all your money that you already get. Divest, invest. We demand investments in the education, health, safety, and black people. You already get way too much money. Economic justice. We demand economic justice for all. So what? Again, you just don't want to get arrested for committing crimes. Community control. Okay, I wanted to look at this. We demand a world where most impacted in our communities control the laws. What? Wait. So, isn't this the same thing as like divest, invest? That's kind of what it confused me about it. Like, it seems like the same thing. Like, they want poor people to decide when committing a crime is like acceptable rather than like a wider society that because of course people are naturally just going to behave selfishly. Like, that's not going to work. Political power. We demand independent black political power and black self-determination. So wait a minute. Are you arguing for segregation, independent black political power, and black self-determination in all areas of society? We envision a remaking of the current U.S. political system in order to create a real democracy where black people and our marginalized people can effectively exercise full political power. What the fuck are they talking about? Like, what? I don't know, man. This reminds me of like the tranny thing, right? Like, it sort of reminds me how like there weren't enough gays or lesbians to prop prop up an entire movement. So they sort of were like, well, maybe we should just pressure young, impressionable white liberals into white liberal women into saying they're bisexual, even though they fuck dudes, and maybe we'll let trannies in this movement too. And now they're working on pedophiles. Basically, what happens when you do that, like, you're bringing in a bunch of people who have nothing really in common together in order to, like, for this social movement to tear down society, and they're basically going to start infighting. Like, I strongly doubt that it's possible that any political movement will be able to sustain. We're sort of seeing this with the Democrats already, right? Where we have, like, the establishment shills who want things to continue as they are, and then you have, like, the radicals, the Squad, AOC, who want, like, complete societal overhaul, right? The socialists who legitimately believe that people should be given free money, rather than, like, being that carrot on a stick that never actually happens. Like, they just they're going to run on that as their primary sort of platform, right? It's going to lead to a divide in the system, and it kind of already has. Like, right now, I think it's not really acknowledged, but I think, like, a lot of these younger people, a lot of these fuck-ups, a lot of these rioters, Bernie supporters, right? They're people who legitimately thought that they were going to be able to get to college, get a high-paying job, all without really having to do anything with their lives, right? They all legitimately thought they would, if they invested a bunch of money into Bernie Sanders, that they would be able to elect him and get him to basically fund all of their degeneracy, basically. Money for everyone. Everyone will have a sports car. Everyone is a winner. Everyone will be a millionaire. Like, that was kind of the mindset, I think, they had. But it's like, eventually they fractured off from the Democratic Party, and I think they might actually form their own party eventually, or take over the Democratic Party in general, because it is getting more and more extreme. Like, it's really weird, like, seeing how, like, the Democrats have basically become, like, the party of Orange Man bad. Like, every time I see them talk about anything, it's like, it's all about how Trump has ruined society, when not really. Like, that fucker Obama, worst president. Obama is, like, awful. Obama was awful, and I don't really see anyone really bringing that up at all. Like, I'm pretty convinced. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm ignorant and I haven't, like, read up on, like, my old history. But, like, I am convinced Obama might actually be one of the worst presidents we've ever had. Going by what I've seen, in his behavior out of the White House, his handling of this situation, just how much better Trump has been overall in, like, basically every single way, in spite of, like, these people desperately trying to keep their movements going. I do think that's all Black Lives Matter is. It's a holdover from the Obama era where, like, people were talking all this crazy shit about, oh man, things are different now, things have changed. All right, did Shokia respond to me? Okay. Okay. Enough with these the bitching about Nintendo partner directs. All right, I think George Floyd is trending again. What's the deal with that? All right. What if none of this is about George Floyd or Jacob Blake, and all of it is about the 2020 election? It is. There's a reason we haven't heard from these people at all since 2016. Another unarmed black man shot in the back by a Wisconsin police officer. No matter the outrage at the killing of George Floyd by a police officer. Knee on his neck. The killing... Yeah, they have these... cult behavior. Cult behavior. I don't know, man. This is sort of becoming, like... Is it just me, or is it, like, being oppressed by the police, like some kind of, like, black religious sort of, like, reality? Like, they legit believe, like, the police are out to get them at any given opportunity, which is clearly not true. Remember them all: George Floyd, drug overdose, Breonna Taylor. They always put, like, Breonna at the top, but I've never heard the name until people started throwing it out there. I'm gonna have to look into her more. Arbery, yeah, the jogger who was breaking into a house, yeah. The jogger himself. Michael Brown. Yeah, that's George Floyd wasn't shot. Eric Garner wasn't shot. Sandra Bland wasn't shot. The police are assaulting and killing people in many more ways than just shooting them. A headline the other day said a man died after they forced him to lie on hot concrete for several minutes. I'm sure that's true. I'm sure it's just as real as all these other examples. Let's see. Yeah, George Floyd holds gun to stomach of pregnant woman. Gets funeral of a king. Yep. Did Jacob Blake really rape a teenager? Wow. Unbelievable. Yep. I mean, that's the kind of people these people are propping up and defending. What have we done to reform policing since George Floyd was killed? Absolutely nothing. And now another black man gets nearly killed for no reason, and people are surprised that folks are upset about being murdered randomly by the cops nonstop. Well, the police did nothing wrong. Yeah, fuck you, Shank. You fat fuck. Like, that's the thing. Like, again, it's a bunch of extremists giving everything they have to a cause that has no real momentum behind it. Like, no one's looking at this and saying that, like, yeah, we need more of this. If anything, I'm seeing people like do more and more things, like private schools becoming more and more popular. You know, to stay away from these low income people. You know, living in rural areas is more popular. Staying away from cities is becoming more popular. Like, really, I've said this several times before. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but like they really only are fucking over themselves, right? The jobs are going to leave their cities. They're going to leave the communities. The government is going to help them. The federal government is going to help them. The Democrats aren't going to be help them forever. It's like it just can't continue. It just really can't continue. Right now, I think it's in its dying gasps, honestly, because like people are throwing out these buzzwords like, oh, Black Lives Matter, oh, shot in the back 7 times. People know, like, that's the thing. Like, you've done this so many times, you know, you've backlashed against it so hard. People have like researched it and realized that, you know what, these Black Lives Matter people, they're full of shit. Like, they have no idea what they're talking about whatsoever. They don't respect the police. They don't respect society. And as a result, you shouldn't respect them. Let's see. All right. Let's see. So I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Okay. When the Atlantic's, let's see. Yeah, I want to get back to writing Rabbit Hole, which, by the way, well on my way to 70,000 words, and I hope I can get very far in tonight. The agenda of Black Lives Matter is far different from the slogan. Many see the slogan Black Lives Matter as a plea to secure the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all Americans, especially historically wronged African Americans. They add the BLM hashtag to their social media profiles, carry BLM signs at protests, and make financial donations. Tragically, when they do donate, they are likely to bankroll a number of radical organizations funded by committed Marxists whose goals aren't to make the American dream a reality for everyone, but to transform America completely. Like I said, fucking communists. This might be unknown to some of the world's best-known companies, which have jumped on the BLM bandwagon. Who is this guy? This guy seems base as fuck. Brands like Arbimb and Spanx have promised direct donations. True, others like Nike and Netflix have shrewdly channeled their donations elsewhere, like the NAACP and other organizations that have led the struggle for civil rights for decades. These companies are likely aware of BLM's extreme agenda and recoil from bankrolling destructive ideas, but it requires sleuthing to learn this. Companies that don't do this hard work are providing air cover for a destructive movement and compelling their employees, share owners, and customers to endorse the same. Just ask BLM leaders Alicia Garza, Patrice Cullors, and Apol de Milton. A revealing 2015 interview, Cullors said, "Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists." That same year, Tomedi was hobnobbing with Venezuela's Marxist dictator Nicolas Maduro, of whose regime she wrote, "In these last 17 years, we have witnessed the Bolivarian Revolution champion participatory democracy and construct a fair, transparent election system recognized as among the best in the world. Millions of Venezuelans suffering on Maduro's murderous misrule presumably couldn't be reached for comment." Did they really hype up Venezuela as one of the... Okay. Visit the Black Lives Matter website, and the first frame you get is a large crowd with fists raised and the slogan, "Now we transform." Oh no, they're becoming Super Saiyans. Oh no, we're gonna have to deal with... Oh no. Ooh. Read the list of demands, and you get a sense of how deep a transformation they seek. One proclaims, "We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another." Yeah, I've never talked about this because I don't know a whole lot about this. I understand this is true. So basically, I've sort of talked about this. Basically, they want to replace traditional family structures with structures by the government. So they sort of want your children to be raised by the system rather than by their parents. So they sort of accept this government as being just and right in all things. A partner organization, the Movement for Black Lives, or M4BL, calls for abolishing all police and all prisons. It also calls for a progressive restructuring of tax codes at the local, state, and federal levels to ensure a radical and sustainable redistribution of wealth. Oh, fuck, no. Fuck that. Another M4BL demand is the retroactive decriminalization, immediate release and record expungement in all drug-related offenses and prostitution, and reparations for the devastating impact of the war on drugs and criminalization of prostitution. This agenda isn't what most people signed up for when they bought their Spanx or registered for Airbnb. Nor is it what most people understood when they expressed sympathy with the slogan that Black Lives Matter. Garza, yeah, I think most people were kind of manipulated into supporting Black Lives Matter. They didn't know it wasn't Black Lives Matter. It was BLM, burn, loot, murder. Garza first coined the phrase in a July 14, 2013 Facebook post, the day George Zimmerman was acquitted of murdering Trayvon Martin. Her friend Colores put the hashtag in front and joined the word so it could travel through social media. Tometi thought of creating an actual digital platform, blacklivesmatter.com. Let's see. The goals of the Black Lives Matter organization go far beyond what most people think, but they're hiding in plain sight, there for the world to see. If only we read beyond the slogans and the innocuous-sounding media accounts of the movement. Well, nobody's sharing them. Like, that's the thing. Like, if people actually, cared about these people, again, now that people care about BLM, it's going to get cracked down on hard. Like, I am not going to stand for this. You aren't going to stand for this. Like, these people are full of shit. The group's radical Marxist agenda would supplant the basic building blocks of society, the family, with the state, and destroy the economic system that has lifted more people from poverty than any other. Black lives and all lives would be harmed. Theirs is a blueprint for misery, not justice. It must be rejected. Okay, oof. Progressivism. Is this mainstream? Like, what the fuck is this? Who wrote this? This is based as fuck. Okay, I might have to check this out a little bit more off stream. We demand change. We demand change. What change? Okay. We demand an end to the killing of unarmed black men by cops. We demand an end to the systematic racism that's killing us too. We demand white supremacists be labeled domestic terrorists. We demand change now. We need to deal with... I don't know. Racists rioting in the streets. What white supremacist, by the way? Wasn't the kid who, shot that guy a fucking Mexican? Oh man, Mexicans there. How is this fair? An unarmed black man potentially resisting arrest gets 7 bullets to his back and gets paralyzed, while an underage white boy with an AR murders 2 people and injures another, walking freely in front of the police. This system is fucked. Didn't he, basically lower his weapon? His weapon was, lowered, yeah. Did they see him get attacked? Was he right there? Yep, see, he waves at them. Yeah. Yeah, the weapon is lowered. They really need to stop fucking with kids, dude. This is another example of, what happened with the Covington High School kid, who, by the way, recently spoke at the RNC. Maybe we could look at that real quick. If it's available. I think it should be. What's his name? Sandman? Okay, let's see what he says. Let's see what he said. I actually don't know what he said. Oh, is he not wearing his hat? Oh,
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nick Sandman, and I'm the teenager who was defamed by the media after an encounter with a group of protesters on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial.
What an absolute Chad.
Before I begin, I'd like to thank President...
Damn, Lincoln's looking down on us like, yeah, I didn't free the slaves for this shit.
Matters so much to this November's election. In 2019, I attended the March for Life in Washington, D.C., where I demonstrated in defense of the unborn.
Oh, yeah.
Later that
Badass.
day, I bought a Make
Fuck
America
abortion.
Great Again hat
Okay.
Because our president, Donald Trump, has distinguished
Our Lord and
himself as
Savior,
one of the
Donald
most
Trump,
pro-life
the God
presidents
Emperor himself.
in the history of our country, and I wanted to express my support for him too. Looking back now, how could I possibly imagine that the simple act of putting on that red hat would unleash hate from the left and make myself the target of network and cable news networks nationwide?
Yep.
Being from
They
Kentucky,
rely on this kind of thing. They go after everyone. They're trying everything they can to keep people like him, people like me, people like you from speaking up against these fucking terrorists.
Protesters looking to turn me into the latest poster child showing why Trump is bad. While the media
Trump
portrayed
is
me
bad.
as an aggressor,
Badass.
with a relentless smirk on my face. In reality, the video confirms I was standing with my hands behind my back and an awkward smile on my face that hid two thoughts. One, don't do anything that might further agitate the man banging a drum in my face. And two, I was trying to follow a family friend's advice.
Isn't this guy like a fucking millionaire now? Because they had to pay him something like $500 million or some shit? Holy fucking shit, this guy made out like a motherfucker. He's probably set for life. Shit. ABC cuts off the part when he puts on his hat and say, "Let's make America great again."
It's all right here on video.
Money is good, but having CNN's money is great.
What I thought was a strange encounter quickly developed into a major news story, complete with video footage. My life changed forever in that one moment. The full war machine of the mainstream media revved up into attack.
Yeah, he's probably going to be a lifelong Republican. Do you think this is going to be the last we see from this guy? Like, shit, he could, like, turn this into a political career, honestly. But we'll have to see if he does it, if he has the chops for that. Didn't mean to accidentally watch ABC. Oops. CNN's highest paid person, Lamieux. Hey, ABC, he's talking about you guys, too. It's the owner of CNN, y'all. ABC almost ready to show the young man proudly placing his red MAGA hat upon his head, but not quite. Kind of petty for the network. They cut away pretty quick when he put on his hat. You're joking if you think the news media will ever return to normal. CNN has left the chat, yeah. Unbelievable. So I think that's... Have I really been streaming for half an hour? Wow. I mean, an hour? Hang on, let me check. Yeah, it's been about 52 minutes. Holy shit. Yeah, I think that's enough political stuff today. I don't want to watch live streams. I think they've died down a lot. Like, people are bringing up George Floyd again. I think the rioters made themselves look like dipshits, and with guns there, it's now that shooting is kind of on the table. I think these people are gonna stay away, hopefully for good. Hopefully this is the end of it. I mean, it'll be over by the end of the year regardless, but this should be the end. This hopefully is the end of it. So yeah, hopefully that's the end of that. Hopefully Donald Trump gets reelected without issue, and we can drain the swamp and get rid of all these corrupt individuals that have been ruining our country for the past, I don't know, 50 years, 50, 60 years. All right, so oh yeah, by the way, publishers are charging $70 for PS5 and Xbox Series X games now. So good luck with that, guys. Games are going to get more and more expensive, and you're going to keep getting less and less. Remember when you were supposed to be getting, like, that's why you were paying for DLC, so, like, the prices wouldn't go up, and yet they went up anyway? Yeah. Way to go, guys. If only you had supported Nintendo. If only you had supported the superior video game company. Well, anyway. Right, so I wanted to focus on a little bit of an issue that I've noticed. I actually did an article about it on blackcatbooks.org, my website, about the fake Nintendo leakers. Liam Robertson, Emily Rogers, Super Metal Dave 64, Laura Kate Dale, Tom Phillips, among others. There are always more popping up or dropping out. Like it's sort of like this weird social club of people involved in this community that are always trying to spread fake Nintendo news, to the masses. And this is something that I'm very, very passionate about. Like, I've been very outspoken about this since 5 years now, I think it was, when I first began noticing that Liam Robertson's claims about Devil's Third and what Nintendo was doing with, like, the Nintendo NX weren't at all in line with, like, what the company said to expect from them, right? Around that time, there were people like Super Metal Dave coming out, like, saying that the NX would be, like, some super powerful hardware. Player Essence was coming out, like, making all these weird, grandiose claims. Like, there was all this crazy bullshit going around all the time, right? All these weird narratives, and basically all of them were proven to be wrong, right? But because of these people, because of their connections, because of their relationship with one another, because of, like, them propping each other up and damage controlling themselves, they were able to continue, to a certain extent, to continue releasing more and more fake Nintendo news, right? Like, fake Nintendo information, rumors, just unconfirmed information, all of which is basically true, but basically always false, right? Basically always incorrect, but they always try to go to insane lengths to justify this information being wrong, especially when it becomes kind of notorious. So why am I talking about this now? Well, they seem to be ramping up for another round of fake Nintendo bullshit, because we've been seeing a lot of, like, oh, we're having a Nintendo Direct this week for the past month, and a lot of it's coming from these people, like, and they're making a lot of excuses about why they have bad information, like Nintendo changes things around, or they're just not committed to an idea. Here it is. Fake Nintendo leakers desperately try and pretend that Star Fox Grand Prix was a false flag against them. So, like, this is what they're seriously trying to do. So, of course, like, Star Fox Grand Prix, a couple of years ago in 2018, there was this weird narrative among these people that Star Fox Grand Prix was the hot, new and up-and-coming project from Retro Studios that would be coming exclusively for Nintendo Switch, and it would be announced sometime in 2018, about 2 years ago, right? And obviously the project never surfaced, and they've tried a lot, right? This was a major announcement that a lot of people caught on to. Like, a lot of people believed it was real, like someone invented a logo, like there was all this information, like, floating around, like people were coming up with all these stories about it. They were very confident that it was real. And then it wasn't. It never came out. Instead, we got, like, a Starlink battle for Atlas, and people, they tried to say that game was Star Fox Racing Grand Prix, but no one really bought it because it didn't really resemble what they said the game was going to be to begin with. Like, they didn't just say it was a Star Fox game, right? It wasn't developed by Retro. The racing game wasn't the primary focus. Like, it was just a bunch of nonsense, basically. But now, in order to desperately salvage their credibility, in order to present themselves in the best possible light, Star Fox Grand Prix they're trying to tell people that Star Fox Grand Prix was misinformation to uncover leakers. So, like, this is the narrative that we're seeing now, is that these people are coming out trying to say that Star Fox Grand Prix was a false flag to expose leakers at Nintendo. Like, Nintendo just came up with this project, invented it to expose people when they started talking about it. It was just, what? Completely ridiculous. Like, again, this is a really good example as to how ridiculously what ridiculous links these people will go to try and justify their behavior and try to set themselves up for another rumor in the next couple of months. If there aren't already a couple, like they've come up with a couple already, like the Mario re-release rumors and things like that, but it's absurd, and it needs to be called out more, I think. And I will be addressing this more. I will be using blackcatbooks.org to, like, cover this information as it happens, document it, document tweets, document statements, document articles if I need to. I will be keeping an eye out on this behavior going forward, because this is unacceptable. If you're a Nintendo fan, like, you don't need to be told fake bullshit from these fake ass people. All right, so I think that is, yep, that's everything I wanted to talk about today. Thank you all for your support. I really, really enjoyed the show tonight. Yeah, about an hour long. Yep, perfect timing. All right, thank you all. I will see you all next time. Check out blackcatbooks.org, and I will